There's a document tucked away in a dusty archive that might just be the most dangerous piece of paper in the world for the British royal family. It isn't a secret treaty or a hidden map. It's a copy of 17 magazine from March 1997. For decades, we've been told a very specific story about a young girl from Los Angeles who dreamed of the spotlight and eventually found herself in a castle. But as we move further into 2026, that fairy tale is facing a reality check that no amount of PR can suppress. Something big just dropped, and it has people doing a double take across every corner of the internet. Samantha Markle is stepping back into the spotlight, and this time she isn't just bringing family grievances. She's bringing what she claims is irrefutable physical proof that the world has been misled about Meghan Markle's actual age for years. The story of the Duchess of Sussex has felt like a perfectly polished high-definition production, but lately, questions are popping up faster than the palace can manage them. Is it possible that the woman the world knows as a 44-year-old duchess is actually hiding a 5-year secret? Social media is buzzing, and what's surfaced in that 1997 archive might completely change how you see this entire story. For a long time, the public ignored Samantha Markle. She was painted by the mainstream media as a disgruntled half-sister. But as the legal battles of 2026 reach a fever pitch, people are starting to rethink those early warnings. What once sounded like background noise is suddenly getting a second look. Even some veteran royal reporters have started to admit that Samantha's claims are checking out factually. It isn't just about family drama anymore. It's about dates, patterns, and gaps in a life story that simply don't add up when you put them under a microscope. Look closer at the records. The real catalyst for this global conversation is that specific issue of 17 magazine. This isn't a digital post that can be deleted. It is a physical artifact of the 90s. In that March 1997 issue, a young woman from Los Angeles is featured, and the text explicitly lists her age as 21 years old. That woman is Rachel Meghan Markle. If we follow the official royal biography, Meghan was born in August 1981. That would make her 15 years old in the spring of 1997, a sophomore in high school. But look at the photos. Look at the context. She is presented as an adult, a woman with a career trajectory that doesn't fit the profile of a 15-year-old. If she was 21 in 1997, she was born in 1976. That is a 5-year discrepancy. A 5-year adjustment. That means she is turning 50 this year. Why would such a specific detail be misprinted in a major publication? The magazine was just the tip of the iceberg. If she was born in 1976, it changes everything we know about her education and her struggling actress years. Where are the missing 5 years between 1994 and 1999? This isn't just vanity. It's about institutional transparency. If a future member of the royal family could essentially reset her biological clock, it raises massive questions about the vetting process of the monarchy. But the magazine was just the beginning. When you start pulling on that one thread, the whole tapestry begins to unravel. This age gap isn't just about a number. It has massive biological implications. If she is 5 years older than she claims, it changes the entire narrative surrounding the births of Archie and Lilibet. When the pregnancies were announced, they were framed as modern miracles, but they were also shrouded in an unusual amount of secrecy. No doctor signed the birth announcements, a break from centuries of royal tradition. There were no public appearances on the hospital steps. If the alternative age theory is true and she was in her late 40s during those pregnancies, the medical reality becomes much more complex. This is why the conversation keeps returning to things like moon bumps and surrogacy. While none of this is confirmed fact, the 1997 magazine feature has given skeptics a foundation of physical evidence they never had before. But what Thomas Markle remembers might be even more damaging than a magazine clip. Thomas Markle is a man who understands the power of a perfect image. As an Emmy-winning lighting director, he spent his career making people look younger and more vibrant. He knew how to hide a wrinkle with a soft focus lens. From his perspective, he wasn't just raising a daughter. He was witnessing the creation of a star. In his recent 2026 interviews, he has hinted that he helped curate her history. He remembers her milestones with a clarity that only a father can have. He recalls a graduation dinner and a specific milestone birthday that stood out And when he checks those against the years he remembers being on set for various shows, the numbers start to shift. He's mentioned that his daughter iced him out not just because of the stage photos, but because he was the only person left who knew the original lighting of her life. As the legal battle continues, Samantha Markle is demanding the original birth certificate, not the one issued by the state years later, but the contemporary record from a hospital. She believes that truth has been censored by a powerful media machine that protects the royal image at all costs. She mentions that her father has more evidence, old VHS tapes and data receipts from her childhood that could blow the roof off the 1981 birth claim. We are talking about home videos from the early 90s that show a woman, not a child. If these documents are forced out during discovery, the palace will have a massive crisis. It's no longer about a family spat. It's about whether a global figure can rewrite their own history. The mystery deepened even further when people started looking at the birth of Archie at Portland Hospital. In Prince Harry's memoir Spare, the description of that day is almost cinematic. He describes a calm, intimate atmosphere and even his own use of laughing gas. But when medical professionals read that description, the feedback was almost universal. The timeline doesn't match standard medical protocol. Harry describes a very fast recovery and a quick departure. Generally, patients are monitored for 6 to 12 hours. They aren't walking out a secret exit within an hour or two. This compressed timeline has led many to wonder if the story was simplified for the sake of the fairy tale brand. When you combine this with the age controversy, a pattern of narrative management starts to emerge. If the age was refined by 5 years to fit the Hollywood and royal mold, what else in the official record has been polished? It's not necessarily a claim that everything is a lie, but a realization that the public version is a controlled edit of reality. In the world of professional acting, image management is common. Actresses often feel the pressure to stay in their late 20s as long as possible. But when that actress becomes a global royal figure, those small adjustments become a matter of constitutional record. The transition from Rachel Markle to Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, required a complete overhaul. Some believe that during this rebrand, any details that didn't fit the youthful royal-to-be image were quietly tucked away. This would explain why old-school photos from the mid-90s feel like they belong to an older era. Think about the ripple effect this has on the monarchy. The monarchy isn't just a celebrity brand. It is a system built on accuracy and hereditary lineage. If there's a 5-year gap, it calls into question the transparency of the entire organization. Some critics suggest that if the birth of the children was handled with shady details, it could lead to questions about their place in the line of succession. This is high-stakes territory. It's about the trust between the crown and the people. If the public feels they've been sold a character rather than a person, the bond is broken. As we look toward the resolution of Samantha's lawsuit in late 2026, the world remains divided. Why does this matter? Does it matter if a duchess is 44 or 49? In a vacuum, no. But for a public figure who built a brand on authenticity, it matters a great deal. It reveals the level of control exerted over our perception of reality. The move from Rachel to Meghan wasn't just a name change. It was a total reinvention. When you line everything up, the family accounts, the magazine, the school timelines, and the spare birth story, it created a pattern impossible to ignore. At this point, it's about how narratives are built and maintained. 2026 is proving the unquestionable is finally being questioned. Maybe this was never just about a birth year. Maybe it's about the power of the spotlight to obscure as much as it reveals. For Samantha Markle, the goal is simple. She wants the world to see the woman she remembers. For Thomas Markle, it's about the daughter before the lighting changed. For the rest of us, it's a look at the machinery of fame. This triggers a constitutional crisis. If official records of the crown can be edited like a Hollywood script, can they be trusted? Internet sleuths are finding digital ghosts. Cache versions of talent agency pages from the late 90s where Meghan was listed with ages that don't overlap with 1981. It's as if the Rachel persona left breadcrumbs the Meghan persona couldn't sweep away. Every photo of the invisible children is now checked for metadata. The world is no longer looking at the fairy tale. They are looking for the edit. Stay focused, because the next document might change history forever. What do you think? Is there a 5-year secret? Or is this a misunderstanding? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share. The truth might be more surprising than fiction. Thanks for watching.